Hello friends, in this video we will discuss the file management in C++. Basically, files store data permanently in any storage device, and with file handling, the output from a program can be stored in a file. Various operations can be performed on the data, like we can read a file or we can write a file. For performing such operations, we require a stream. So the question arises, what is a stream? A stream is an abstraction of device where input-output operations are performed, and C++ provide you with the library that comes with methods for file handling. Next slide is showing the diagram of file handling concept. In this we can see a C++ program uses the output file stream in order to write any data to a disk file, and in order to read a data from a disk file, the C++ program uses input file stream. The file stream in C++ is basically having three classes. First is the ofstream. The ofstream is used for creating a file and for writing some information to a file. Next is the ifstream. It is used for reading some information or text from the data file. And finally the fstream, which includes both function read and write. We can write a program or any text to a file, as well as we can also read the data, program or text from a file. Next slide is showing the diagram of file stream in C++. Offstream is again for creating and for writing some information to a file. If stream is for reading a file, and fstream for reading as well as for writing a file. In the left hand side, the file modes are shown. We can open a file in append mode, in 8 mode, in mode, out mode, and finally trunk mode. These modes we will discuss in the next slide. In the right hand side, we are showing the functions that we can perform on a file. We can open a file, we can close a file, we can get means we can read a single character from a file, we can write a single character to a file, or we can read a whole line from a file and we can write some data to a file. Now in this slide, the table is showing the detail of the modes. We can open any file in append mode, means the already existing data will be there and the new data will be appended at the end of the file. Next is the 8 mode. It opens the file for the output, then moves the read and write controls to the file end. Next is the in. It opens the file for read operation. Out, it opens the file for write operation. Trunk, if a file exists, the file elements should be truncated prior to its opening. From these modes, basically we are going to work with two modes, in and out. With the help of out mode, we are going to create a file and we are going to write some text to a file, and with the help of in mode, we are going to read some information from a file. So the next question arises, how to open the file. For opening a file, we require a function that is open, and in that we have to pass two parameters, that is file name and second is the mode. The file name will going to represent the name which you want to give to your file, or the file name which you want to open if it already exists. And mode is the mode in which you want to open, whether you want to open for creating, for in, for appending, for truncating, for 8 mode. Next is how to close a file. Whenever we open a file, we also close a file with the help of close function. We are directly using the close along with the file name, and we close a file so that we are going to release the allocated memory to a particular file. Next is a program, a very simple program with the help of which we are going to create a file and we are just going to close a file. So for this, first is the include IO stream, that is your input output header file of C++. Second is hash include fstream, that is your stream for opening or for reading or writing some data to a file. Next is the main function. Now we are going to use fstream, that is a class, and we are going to create an object my file. This object my file we are going to use with the function open, that is my file dot open, and in parameter we have to pass two parameters, that is first is the name of the file, that my underscore file is the name which I am giving to my file for creating my file for the very first time, comma ios scope resolution operator out, that is the mode of my file. I am opening this file for very first time creating as well as for writing some data. Next is the if. I'm using a if condition. If my file created successfully, then a message will be displayed, and if it is not, then again a message will be displayed. So if condition, if the given condition in the if statement is true, it means my file is not created, the message will be displayed. But if the condition is false, then it means my file has already created successfully. Then if it is created, I have to close. So the object name my underscore file dot close, and I will come out of this as portion, then return 0 and out of my program. So with the help of this program, we are just creating a file, new file, and we are closing it, but we haven't written anything. In the next program, that is program 2, we are going to write some text to a file. So again int main, then fstream class, and object is my file. Then along with the object, I'm using the function again open, because I want to open a file and I want to write something to it. Now the file name is myfile.txt, that is the name of my file, comma, the mode is out because I want to write something. Then again I'm checking the condition. If the condition is true, means my file has not been created, but as portion means my file has already been created successfully. And if it is created, then I'm writing a text with the help of extraction operator. So my file extraction operator guru 99. So this guru 99 will going to display or write into my file, and then I'm closing my file, then coming back. So in this way I can write any text to a file. Next is for reading some text from a file. So this is the third program. In this program, we are going to read some data from a file. That is a file which has already been created. Now we are going to read the data. So fstream, again my file is my object, then myfile.open. In parameter, I'm again passing two parameter. First is the name of my file and second is the mode. Here the mode is in because I want to read something from my file. If the condition is true, means no such file exists, but if the condition is false, then I want to read some data. So here I'm declaring a variable as a ch as a variable as data type character, in which I'm going to read the text character by character. Then with the help of while loop, I'm going into the file and I'm going to read the data character by character. So my file, then here the extraction operator ch. If my file is .eof, eof means end of file. If my file reaches end of file, means there are no more characters to be left to be read, then break statement will going to execute. Otherwise again I will move in this while loop and I will going to read character by character, and along with that, with the cout operator, I am going to display the text also. Then after coming out of the while loop, myfile.close, and I will return with the help of return 0, I will come out of this program. In this way, we can easily read some tags from a file. Next is types of file. We are having two types of file, sequential files and random access file. In the sequential file, if we want to access any data, then we have to move in a sequence manner. For example, if I want to access fourth number of record, then I have to go through first record, then second record, then third record, then finally fourth record. But in the random access, we can directly jump to a particular record. For example, if I want fourth record or seventh record, then directly from the first record, we are going to jump to the seventh record or to the fourth record. So in this way, we can see the random access file methods have more speed, or they are faster in action as compared to the sequential access, because in random access, we are directly jumping to a particular record. These are some details of sequential access files, then random access file. Next is the generic programming. Basically, the generic programming helps or enables the programmer to write a general algorithm that will work with all data types. For example, the data types can be an integer, a string, or character. It means it eliminates the need to create different algorithms for different data types. So there are three important advantages of generic programming. First is the code reusability. Second, it avoids function overloading. And thirdly, once it is written, it can be used for multiple times and multiple cases. This generic can be implemented in C++ using the templates. Now the question arises, what is a template? A template is a symbol and a very powerful tool in C++. The simple idea is to pass the data type as a parameter so that we do not need to write the same code for different data types. Basically, we are having two type of templates, a function templates and a class templates. In function templates, we write a generic function that can be used for different data types, for example, sort, maximum, minimum, or print array function. And in class templates, they are useful when a class defines something that is independent of data type and can be useful for classes like linked list, binary tree, stack, queue, and array. I hope this video helped you a lot in understanding the file management in C++. Thank you. Bye-bye.